But in terms of what it does for pubs and the like, the First Minister of Wales has been criticised for claiming the public need to stop watching Netflix if they want to save pubs. But as I said, not just pubs that are affected by modern-day conveniences. Let's speak with Rory Hanrahan, who's a pub landlord and a writer. Rory, good afternoon to you. Nice to have you with us.
Hi, Ian. Nice to meet you, pal.
I don't know much about the Welsh First Minister. I don't imagine ordinarily I would listen to much of what she says, knowing who she represents. But is she actually onto something with this?
Well, a stop clock can be right twice, I suppose, Ian Cantus.
True.
And I find myself in a very odd position of actually saying that she's onto something when she says that it's not government's jobs to get people to go outside, to go to shops, to go to pubs. And that would be absolutely right, except for the fact that the government has got in the way of pubs surviving since the late 90s and has, through one form or another, between VAT increases, between national insurance increases, minimum wage increases, the vast increase in business rates, have destroyed pubs, especially rural pubs. Drink driving, smoking bans, trying to change a culture, make us more European, make us more continental. The flip side of that, of course, is it's led to this vast epidemic of loneliness with older people. Shops are shut because there's no need to have the takeaway, the restaurant open, because people, as you say, they sit in front of the 65-inch TV, they put the feet up and they order the curry in the 4 cans. And 10 minutes later, it's there and it costs them very little.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? I mean, it's the sort of instant gratification thing. And then, you know, it's fascinating, the kind of human journey, I suppose, Rory, you know, of how we've changed, our behaviour has changed. I mean, have a listen to this sound. We all know what that is. I mean, it's just a little boom. If you wrote that in your room as a teenager, you know, people would say, oh, he's starting to learn to play something. But actually, it turns out to be one of the most famous sort of, it's not even a jingle, it's like a sting, as it's called. But of course, it reminds us all that Netflix is on and you're about to watch a new programme. That really has overtaken the way Brits function inside their own homes.
Completely. And one of the things is people don't change, but technology does. Yeah. And we haven't really wrapped our head around social media, technology, internet and instant gratification. And it doesn't necessarily do us any good. And we haven't developed ways to deal with it, how to switch off from it, how to, you know, turn the phone off and go out for the walk, take the dog for a walk, have a pint, talk to a human being. You know, have a Guinness Zero. You don't have to sit there and drink 20 pints. But once the pub is gone, of course, once the local shop is gone, it isn't coming back. And then you've lost all of that ability to socialise, to get out of the house. When the good things and the bad things happen, when you want to celebrate, when the kids come back, at Christmas from university, and you want to take them out, you want to take the son or the daughter out for a drink on the Sunday afternoon. There's nowhere to take them to.
Yeah.
And you lose that ability to communicate together.
Indeed. I mentioned this outfit or this organisation as well, Rory, as we were speaking. Have a listen.
Amazon Prime Day is here. 2 days of epic deals. Shop now.
I think my record of having something delivered is about 3.5 hours. I didn't even want it in 3.5 hours. It just arrived. Indeed, yeah. It said, you know, every now and again it says it'll arrive by 10 o'clock tonight, doesn't it? And you think, well, it doesn't. I don't need it by 10 o'clock. In fact, if it arrives at 10, I might be in bed, so I don't really. But once in a while, it kind of almost beats its own record and something shows up. But instant gratification. We want things now. And, you know, the smart money says, well, it's just cheaper to do it this way. But I think if you put it all together, I'm not sure it is.
Well, it's not necessarily cheaper, and I think there's a thing happening with subscription churn that's quite interesting. You know, so we've got Netflix, we've got Amazon Prime, we've got Paramount Plus, we might have Substack, we might have The Spectator or Spite, and there's a lot of that getting cancelled because those £5, those £8, those £4, all of a sudden you're looking at the month going, did I really spend £87, 120 quid, whatever, you know, and it adds up very quickly. And of course, the downside of Amazon Prime is that it's especially for older people in more isolated areas, is actually they want to talk to somebody in the shop. That might be the only person that they talk to that week when they go to collect the pension, when they buy the tin of beans and a loaf of bread. They're not there to collect the pension. They let's talk to Mike or Rajit behind the counter and have half an hour of human contact.
Yeah. That's a really good point. And of course, people often say, well, if you're staying in, then you're missing human contact. But of course, there is also this. A bit of FaceTime. And there are lots of people who don't just sit there chatting to a mate. They often get a group of them. Every Wednesday, half a dozen of them meet, but not literally, just on a screen. And is it quite sad that people do that? Like, I don't want to go to the pub, but I do fancy a beer. I can get that delivered. I can watch the cinema on my own TV, and I can still have my mates, but just on my iPad.
Yeah, but we know what the downside is. This is for young people, especially entering the workforce for the first time. They're working from home.
Yeah.
When you first went into journalism, when you start first, you know, how much of it was mentoring by older men, older women, people who've been established that you would never have got to spend that time with unless you were physically together. And you make that connection through body language, through liking people, but also learning that actually sometimes you don't like people. And a lot of the work, a lot of your adult environment and being an adult is that you're going to meet people you don't like, and you're going to have to suck it up, buttercup, you know, and actually learn how to deal with people you don't like.
Yeah.
But realize that two things can be true at the same time, and this is a person you're going to have to deal with and work with maybe for 20 years. And if you don't build up those adult relationships, if you're not constantly challenged by life and people and entertained and amused and upset, what really are you at a certain point?
It's a great point. And on that point, my phone literally just went off. Rory, great to have you on with us. Let's speak again. There's lots in this. Rory Hanrahan is a pub landlord and writer. Thank you to him.